Hello, everyone.
Hey everybody, we're here with Satoru Iwata, watching the Nintendo Direct conference that's all about the 3DS. I'm here with Rich George, Brian Altano, and we're going to keep the intro quick because they do this time. Finally, on Nintendo Direct, they keep it quick.
Yeah, Luigi Iwata is already talking about Mario Brothers and Luigi's sort of role
That is the
throughout
coolest
history.
looking arcade machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this Nintendo Direct conference is for you, those of you who haven't seen it, which you probably have, but you're about to watch it anyway. They announce a lot of Luigi themed games because we're about to enter the year of Luigi.
Echo. No.
Crickets.
I was trying to make it sound epic, but sadly, that's about what Luigi gets.
So I don't think they thought this out too much. I think they just decided we have a bunch of Luigi content.
Yeah, he was like,
well, yeah, there's that. Yeah,
I mean, really, the only.
Look at this. I like when they're singling him out. The tiniest thing.
I know, that's really sad. Just hiding him in the corner of every box.
And I was looking at like last week. There's the Smash Brothers stuff for Evo. I guess the Smash Brothers Melee is gonna be in Evo, and on that box art, Luigi is the only character that's been hit, and he's being smashed off screen and the box art, and everybody else is like, they're all smiling in the foreground, and Luigi's getting knocked into the distance. So you know what? Maybe it's about time that he gets his time to shine. But besides Luigi's Mansion, we heard about some really cool games, including Luigi, which we're about to see. The best of which I think is actually not a 3DS game. The
Wii U DLC.
Yeah, the Wii U DLC, which we can talk about first because I don't know how much of that they showed. Did they show much of it?
Not really, but
I think they show old footage from Mario U, but then they talk about Luigi U.
So this is going to be called New Super Luigi U.
Yeah.
Not Luigi Bros.
Yeah.
Because this is single player. No, it is. Keep that in
No,
mind.
it's not.
Yes,
is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is single player. It's basically. I mean, this is the right way.
Completely new levels. They didn't show a single level.
This is how you do DLC.
It's pretty crazy, actually. Like 80 levels. Like they're basically replace all the existing levels with Luigi, oriented stuff, and you play as Luigi, basically.
Yeah. So people sit around and they go, "Man, I really want a sequel to this," and then Nintendo gives them a new one every year, and they get mad. But this is a different way to do it because you don't have to go spend $50 at the store. You sit there. You already bought the game. Download the new map pack, basically. But it's an entire new game. This is like when you beat The Legend of Zelda and you got the second quest.
Right, and I hope it doesn't mean that he's like all floaty and weird when he jumps in the air. Luigi's traditionally like that.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be
though
fine.
I can't get used to it. I guess in Mario Galaxy, they actually tweaked his movement in a weird way. But once you got used to it, it was actually really great. You could jump farther, and really
for
cool.
whatever reason, Luigi's always been like this baby, and they've always made all of he's always just been like crying and jumping weird in the air and stuff
in
like
Paper
that.
Mario, he's literally just sort of like hanging out, like lounging around, and you're like, hey.
But for whatever reason, the last few years, Luigi's levels have been synonymous with being incredibly hard.
Oh, yeah.
So like
that's true.
All the galaxy modes
stuff
with him, and so this new mode is going to be this Super Luigi game is going to be a really hard version of New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
I sure hope so.
Or Wii U, which is great. I mean, I'm cool.
I think
with
it's great that they can like probably keep the same map screen, but maybe slightly alter it, and you just go level to level, and they're all different levels.
My hope is
great.
They view this as like people who are buying this and taking the time to buy this have probably already beat the regular game, and like let's step it up a little bit. I mean, maybe you need a few easy levels because I'm sure some kids are going to want to buy it or whatever.
And I mean, they toyed with this stuff for New Super Mario Brothers 2 for 3DS, and it's great because all the levels were really hard. But what that missed was they would put up these map packs, and I would download them, and I'd play through a few levels, and I was like, that's cool. But they didn't have this like unifying overworld to kind of keep them all together.
Very segmented.
Which this is going to do this time. So.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
So, and I just wanted to point out too, like this footage they're showing of this is the best I've seen of Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, it looks really
great.
good.
There's just like a lot of great animation and art style and stuff. Like it looks so much better than the GameCube one, but I'm not like it's not the most exciting game on the horizon for me personally.
If I had to guess,
it's looking good.
It comes in, under Fire Emblem and 3D Land, but that's not a big deal, like that still can be really, really good. From what I played of it, it's still quite good. It's so
I'm
much
worried about
better
the
than
pacing
original.
a little bit. If it's really hard puzzles from room to room or something, then that'd be cool. But
I will say that.
I don't want to explore at this pace. Like if I have to backtrack throughout the entire mansion, I'll be like,
well, no. So there
that's that's kind of the way this game is, though.
There are multiple mansions, though. So like, I don't think you're going to be like.
There's multiple mansions.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that tidbit.
Yeah. So there's multiple settings.
He's got a lot of dead
environments,
uncles.
mansions. Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, I mean, like I've actually never seen that plant boss before the direct here. But I mean, I like it a lot. It's actually got sort of its own sort of logic and puzzles system, you know? So whenever I sit down and try and play it for an hour or whatever, I'm usually caught off guard and I'm like, wait, how do I do? Oh, that's right. And you kind of got to think through how they do things in sort of Luigi's world.
This game is looking more like a Metroidvania game than I expected.
It really is. It's really cool. Well, what I love
especially
about
when
this
he's
game,
like revealing stuff with the light, and
Yes.
he's like you're getting new equipment to get new areas, which they're explaining. I think a lot of those for the first time in this video.
It definitely has a lot of that. I mean, for example, you'll get the dark light, I think it's dark light, dark matter, something reveal or whatever, and you flash it on there, and it'll reveal secrets and hidden things and doors that you need. And some of it's actually essential, though. It's not like just secrets. It's stuff that you need. There are a lot of things like that. There's a lot of creativity where you're like trying to open a door, you can't get that door open, so you have to figure out that you need to go to the second floor of the mansion, and there's some secret way of getting down into that room, but that room has like a key that you have to have. So
see, to me, this game is not like you must buy a 3DS for it. But if you don't own a 3DS by now or don't have one by the end of the year, quit gaming because you're an idiot. Like,
let me tell you something. Right, a wave has gone around our office over the past week, and 4 people bought 3DSs in the office. And that's crazy. That's like the most since the 3DS came out. And it's because of the XL.
It's got
and because
Fire
of
Emblem, 3D Land, Ocarina of Time, like tons of great games. So this is not like the GameCube where you had to play Luigi's Mansion because there was nothing else. This is like Luigi's Mansion is icing on the cake.
That's true.
I think, I mean, it took them a while. I mean, maybe a little bit longer than the DS, but I feel like they've finally kind of hit a critical mass now where it's not only do you have a form factor, either the 3DS or the XL that people want, plus you have well, I won't go this far. I mean, a decent color arrangement between the 3DS and the XL. The XL is terrible. But now, especially with Fire Emblem and Luigi,
think how sad it is that dog's dead.
I love this dog. He just stole something from you. But the games, like this year alone, has some incredible stuff coming out.
It's awesome.
And we'll get to some of it in a minute here. But I mean, it's like, you have Fire Emblem. Luigi's just around the corner. Castlevania, we'll see how the reviews pan out. But that, from what
I'm really excited about that game.
This is sort of that weird Nintendo system thing that always happens where there's like, and it's happening with the Wii U right now. But do you remember when you were bored as hell with your 3DS?
I hope it happens to Wii U. I actually am a little bit concerned with that one.
But we were all felt the same. I mean, I'm
very true.
The same way. But we felt the same way about the 3DS. I think it's just crazy how many great games there are.
The one thing I'll say, and I'm sure we'll be talking plenty about Wii U just in the long term, but the one thing I'll say about Wii U, I'm super excited about the stuff that they announced in January that's a little farther out. My worry, though, is that it seems like it's easier for developers to really fire up the engines for something like 3DS. The games are simpler, they're smaller, they're just easy to kind of grasp. Because
although it's funny to say that because we all said that, like, there's no way they're going to make these giant 3DS games when they can just make an iPhone game. But it's like that's just not the way it's been shaking out.
Yeah,
well, these games are big for 3DS.
We're seeing it happen now, and it's a good counterpoint. But it's the same chicken and egg thing happens all the time.
There can't be 4 Luigis.
This is Ghostbusters, the game again.
This game, the multiplayer is actually quite a bit of fun. I'm sort of baffled by why you need 4 Luigis. I don't know if it maybe comes down to like some sort of asset issue, but it's basically, at least in the mode I played, I have not played all of these modes, but in the mode I played, it is Ghostbusters. It's 4-player Ghostbusters, just more of the core combat versus the puzzle-oriented stuff. You're just going around trying to beat every ghost you see in a certain time frame. And the other modes are just variations on that, like get through the level. And
it's funny that this Nintendo Direct occurred on the heels of a Wii U Direct, which was amazing and had all this great stuff. And it's like the 3DS was already great for the year. It already had a great lineup, and it's like, and this, What are you guys saving for 3DS?
That was the weird thing, was like we already knew there was Pokemon, and we already knew that Animal Crossing was somewhere, and we knew like something like Project Cross Zone was sort of off in the like summer time frame. And I was like totally fine with that. I was like, that's not bad. I knew there probably had to be at least one more thing, but what really stunned me about this Nintendo Direct in particular was not only did they give us an Animal Crossing release date, but they said here are 3 brand new games. Oh, and they're all coming this summer. Like, I cannot recall when Nintendo has been like, by the way, all summer.
Here we go.
It's
a weird one.
Here's the first of their sort of main game reveals here.
Yeah, so this is Mario and Luigi Dream Team. It's part of the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
It's the 4th one.
Whatever series. I forget what was the first game, which is Mario and Luigi. Yeah. Partners in Time was the third one.
The second one.
Oh God,
the second one. And then there's Bowser's Inside Story was the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all great. they're all kind of like I know like they felt a little samey to me by the time I got to Inside Story, but then I heard Inside Story was really funny, and I still have never played it.
Audrey doesn't like that one. That's the funny thing.
Did you play that one, Brian?
Audrey's sick, by the way, so
yeah,
give her well wishes in the comments or something. Don't make them creepy. No, so this is I mean, what's interesting about Dream Team is we don't know a whole lot about it, which is interesting because it's coming out in
look at this,
a matter of months.
So this looks like there's some parts of it that are almost more like Super Paper Mario, as like, so this series is kind of like Paper Mario. It's like an RPG. You do turn-based stuff, and it has like inputs that you hit when during your fighting. But yeah, it has like a lot more action.
It's like Jackass the game, because it's all about just messing with your friend while he's asleep.
Yeah, right.
Like Luigi's
so that's what's going on.
Let's punch him in the face and make him jump.
Yeah, you actually like interact with them.
And when you see his face, it's like, yeah, somebody's outside right now, like tickling his nose to make him do something.
You don't even. Is it Mario?
Yeah, there you go.
I think so.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know because it's
and what is that yellow thing?
No, because Mario's in the game.
Is there a level where
though.
you can put his hand in warm water and he pees the game?
They show that thing where like Mario's actually hopping in.
It floods the level. Yeah, we don't know who's developing it, but yeah, it's coming summer, so that's cool. I mean, hey, hello.
Yeah, how can they do that? Just pull it. Here's a giant Luigi RPG.
I don't even know. And here we go. You got Camelot doing Mario Golf World Tour, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
What's funny is all the games they announced, with the exception of Luigi DLC and Luigi's Mansion, don't really star Luigi. They were just like, oh, and Luigi's in here, so you're Luigi.
Yep.
You're like, what?
Yep.
But I really like the art style here. I hope it turns out a little better than Mario Tennis. I was not the biggest fan of Mario Tennis, so I thought it was fine.
I think they specifically mentioned that they put back in the character power shots, which is like
this was kind of cool.
World.
Yeah.
But that's important. So it's like that's what makes these Mario sports games cool, is when they like go crazy fantasy with them. Yeah. And that tennis game was like a boring tennis simulator with Mario.
I didn't like it all that much.
Yeah, it felt like a reskinned, cheaper game.
Yeah.
Why does Bowser do that little finger wave? That's Sonic's thing.
No, isn't Sonic the? Oh no. I don't know. They all sort of interchange it a bit. I was going to say peace sign.
It's not the year of the Sonic, you guys. That hasn't happened in
He's really happy
years.
about that.
Yeah, he's
So we, I mean,
you say it's not year of Sonic?
No.
I don't think it's been year of Sonic for like 20 years.
I also said that.
I'm surprised that I'm a little surprised that this is not for the Wii U. It's like
I know.
Maybe make your golf game for
this
the,
is sort of the funny
family
thing,
living room thing.
Was like Wii U needed a lot of new software, and they announced a bunch in January, although it's a ways away.
Yeah.
And then here they're like, by the way, that system that's already totally awesome, but they do need this, right? They need.
I have my Wii U on my entertainment center next to my television, and it looks at me every day, and I look at it and
frowns.
I go, I wish I could play you. Like, I would pick you up, turn you on, and look at your menu and be like, nope. There's nothing to do here.
Look at that. So yeah, you're right. There's just a completely new menu.
Yeah,
it's the same map.
No. So this is old footage, right?
Old footage?
So we don't know for sure.
Well, no, they just scrolled up to the Luigi footage. They just did.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if it'll change.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
So this is new Super Luigi U.
See this,
That's not the same level. These are all different levels.
Yeah, these are new. This is new stuff. Yeah, this is new.
It is for sure. Like this is complete. This looks
awesome.
great. Yeah.
I'm excited, and it does look tougher.
What if they did this again for like Yoshi? Like it makes me so excited that they're willing to try this.
Here's my question: how much does that cost? You created a
it's just
whole
levels.
new game.
So you have your team assembled, and you have all the assets. It's like they're really just smartly assembling
new levels.
Like you or I could probably do that, provided the right tools.
Well, if
just
you and I did that,
sets basically.
If you and I did that, the result would be New Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah,
because I'm just saying. I'm super excited for Luigi U. Although I actually this is a while ago, but someone did have a really interesting question, which is if we're getting Luigi U later this year sometime, what does that mean?
This is a mean tease right here, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
When they did that, I was like,
You want to scrub past some of this Miiverse stuff?
Yeah, we can get that. I mean,
that wasn't very mean tease. By the way.
It'll go in a second here. The one thing I was going to say though was that if we're getting Luigi U this year, does that mean maybe we don't get a 3D Mario game this year, or does that happen, or like how do they space those out? It'd be kind of weird to have them back to back.
It's a good question.
So you mean for Wii U?
For Wii U.
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they
without
just,
it being
I don't
announced.
care.
Yeah, I mean, I know they announced something was in the works. But
I will say though
this
that
fall's gonna be bleak for the Wii U.
Like Luigi U is kind of long-term DLC. If you think about most traditional DLC, they announce it around the game launch and then it's out. You look at AC3, right? Around the time of the game's launch, they announced the DLC. I think it was maybe a few weeks ahead, and now it's out. And that, to me, felt like a while. It's like 3 months. Luigi U, they didn't announce till 3 months after, and now we're, I don't know, what, 4, 5, 6 months?
Yeah, it's like
tops.
Yeah, it's.
So, I mean, it's going to be crazy because then I think that they're going to say that, and that'll give them an excuse to delay Galaxy 3 or whatever it is they're working on.
God, I hope not. I really hope we get Galaxy this year or whatever it is. The one thing I will say, Sam, you were saying fast forward. I like the idea of them creating communities for the games that aren't out yet. They really should.
That's what they're
create one
talking
for
about
Smash
now.
Brothers.
Is that there's kind of these walls for each game.
Yeah.
And I mean,
right?
here's the amazing thing. Nintendo, despite some of their flaws and despite the fact that Wii U isn't where it needs to be and we haven't seen a game in months, I love the idea that between Nintendo Direct and Miiverse, they could basically just completely interact with their fans. I mean, it makes our jobs harder in some ways, but as a fan, that's awesome. Like, if you're in the message boards for Miiverse and you're in the Zelda thing, and Anuma's like, I'm just going to drop this Zelda game name here or something like that. Here's a new screen. That'd be cool, though. Like, that would be really cool. I mean, I'd sort of be like, oh, my God, boot up the Wii U. But, like, that's pretty awesome, I think. Fire Emblem DLC. Some of the stuff now, we're sort of through the first half or so.
Again, like this is more DLC. Like, this is quality DLC. The Fire Emblem stuff.
Good.
I think it's like they're a little short for being what they are, but maybe they'll have them all in one package eventually.
They do packs, right? So they'll do like you'll get level 1, 2, 3, but then there's a pack that has all 3 levels. This stuff.
One problem with me is that my team is just so overpowered now that I just. Burn through these.
I wish I had that problem. My team's getting killed like nothing right.
Well, so I think
how far are you?
About what are they, stages? I'm like
chapters.
I'm probably like 5 or 6 chapters out.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
It's really hard in the beginning, like especially for me as a new Fire Emblem player.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was crazy, and then you get to a place where you can like you can choose to grind, which you can't do before then.
Yeah,
and then
I'm
you can
actually
really
waiting
feel
for that
out
to happen because
yeah.
I don't mind doing.
You're there,
that kind
like
of stuff.
you can now that you can get bonus teams. I think you can.
You basically have to choose to do it, right? It's not like a traditional RPG where you're like walking around in the overworld. Oh damn, I'm fighting a thing again. Like you have to be like, I'm going to go fight you, even though the story is over there.
I want to say personally, I don't know how many people are in the same boat as me, but I played RPGs a lot when I was a kid, and then there was like a 20-year blank space where I didn't really want to play them anymore.
Yeah.
And Fire Emblem, it's not like it's baby's first RPG, but it's great for someone like me I'm not bogged down in menus for hours at a time. I'm not like
it's the chapters, you
Yeah.
feel like you're making progress. You're like, I'm on chapter 6, and
it's
that was
really
better than
smart.
chapter 5.
Yeah, it's really smart.
Yeah.
And it lets you get really grindy if you want, and I think that's just awesome.
It reminds me of the RPGs where you can run around. The enemies are physically on the maps, and you can be like, I don't want to fight you right now.
Yeah.
And I also feel like Fire Emblem at least has a reasonable difficulty curve that you probably don't really have to do that if you don't want to.
I have a pro tip. Definitely check out the marriage possibilities.
Oh, yes,
like
yes,
it
yes.
won't spoil anything for you, but just know what they are. So
I didn't
you
even know
can
this was a thing.
It's really cool.
Kids,
And you have to
marriage,
start early though.
What?
So like.
I knew you could pair
Like,
characters.
let's
I didn't know they would have to
they
fall
will.
in love forever.
You know how
there's
it's
certain
like,
ones that produce special offspring too, and then they're fighters.
Well, you know how
game.
it's like
They're
it
great.
says status, and it's
So-
like D, C, B, whatever, and it gets up to S or A. If it's S, if you can get a pair of characters up to S, they'll get married eventually.
But there's
Can
certain
you
pairs that
put
are
it,
better
it's
than
complicated.
yeah. So what else we got, Sam? We got
Animal Crossing June 9th,
No,
the
I
most
know.
exciting announcement of the entire year.
It's been a while. Like I'm surprised twofold. One, that it took them this long to announce the release date especially for something that's so close. Actually,
I know. Do they understand how terrible real life is? I need my fake town to go
This
visit.
makes me so happy because my fake town, the best part of the year is the summer. That's when I'm most into Animal Crossing.
I know.
And sometimes like I'll start a new Animal Crossing say in the fall. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, because everything covered with snow in like a week, and everyone goes to
crickets
bed early.
It's like I want to catch the summer beetles.
And I want to be
crazy,
up all late, drinking, hitting on animal girls.
So here's an interesting thing about Animal Crossing. I am well known for not being a huge fan of the series.
Yeah.
You're not that well known.
Amongst our people, our people. But what I would say is that like I'm not a huge fan of the series, but we put up a 45-minute video.
Really?
This just went up.
Yeah, the developers basically.
I don't know how you got that.
Well, it came out in UK like last week, and we are like, yoink.
It's like the first 45 minutes of moving. They just show that.
It's basically 45 minutes of the developers narrating sort of their trek through the early parts of the game, and they're listing off all these things, and I didn't get to watch all of it because it's 45 minutes long. But about 15 minutes in, I was like, I kind of want to play this game now, and it was like, damn it!
I gotta watch that.
I was so thrilled to have a series that I didn't need to focus on.
It's really weird, Rich, because it's like either this game gets it hooks in you or it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, so what they were describing though, and it's funny because they were describing things. I'm like, you guys Should have been doing that.
Brian, look how this shop is the exact same layout.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
They have like shops now closer together. Is one of the things they were saying. They also start you in less debt.
I'm a
so
little
that
bummed
you
by
can
the
actually
city.
do more.
As soon as they added the city, I liked it like in your town. I just like all the little.
Well,
I
you're
don't know.
you're
I
also
don't
the
like going to
mayor
the
of
city.
your town now, so you kind of get to determine more of what you're doing
That's
and
why you're so
be
tall.
a little more like of a boss, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited. I've never been a huge...
It's going to be good in the office. I'm telling you. Like, there's going to be
yes.
really good multiplayer opportunities with this game. It's
Yeah, I
gonna be
agree.
fun.
I'm actually kind of excited, which is funny because I'm sure I'll get some feedback being like, I told you, but
You know, there's
Why is it not June yet?
well, there's
I'm
there's
just
a
amazed that it's coming out in June. That's like 3 months. That's
I know.
You know, and we're in like an era where people announce games 9 months in advance and then do a whole thing, and they're like, nope, 3 months, here you go.
Yep.
I mean, they're announcing all these other games, brand new games. I mean,
Yeah, they're
Animal
coming out
Crossing-
this summer
Yeah,
also.
they're like, oh, by the way, summer, which realistically probably stretches to October. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
there's a really dark side to that release date news, and that we haven't talked about yet. But the Rayman was delayed. for
Yeah,
Wii
sure,
U
sure.
in the same time frame. So
I just want to
Yeah.
mention really quick, it's really disturbing that they're like, hey, want to dress like that animal from Animal Crossing? Sure. Here's her new line of clothes. She's a talking giraffe that sells
here's her
pants.
skin.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah.
mothers and daughters, want to dress like a cartoon rat? Lives in his own house. With mismatched furniture. Now's your shot with new DLC. Like, what?
Oh.
You like Tom Nook? How would you like him as a pair of shoes?
Yeah.
Fun fact: that game is actually the second largest 3DS game, largest being Castlevania now.
You mean most popular?
Or file size.
Style
file-
savvy, whatever trendsetters or whatever.
For file size, that's what
Yeah,
you mean.
for file size. File size. Yes,
I was like,
yes,
big. Like, what am I?
No.
When did Castlevania?
like It's taking over the world.
80-hour RPG.
That's why Style Savvy Castlevania is going to be the biggest game this fall.
So
Dress your Belmonts in whatever skirts you want.
I know a lot of people are writing this game up. This is a Lego City Undercover for Wii U.
But they show the
good
3DS footage in this.
Yeah, the
for
3DS
first
I think
time,
they
right?
show right in the very next one.
This looks
Next
fun
thing.
to me. I'm actually excited for this game.
It's still
It's
a different.
actually really fun.
The 3DS game is different though.
It's a
right?
different game. It's a prequel. It actually comes out here. It is actually The Chase Begins. It's a prequel to the Wii U game, and yeah, like I said here,
It's
April
actually it's
21st.
open world too, although it has all the fog from Turok.
Yeah, I mean
The draw distance isn't fantastic, but still, this is a portable game. you
Yeah,
know?
Yeah.
I'll be curious how open it is. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it has all the same kind of gameplay, which is cool.
The cool thing about these games is like even when the graphics aren't great, like they're Legos.
Yeah.
You know, they don't. It's not like you're playing GTA.
The
here,
game
like-
is really funny too, so I have high hopes for the 3DS version as well. The Wii U
Awesome.
version is.
We've been
really,
talking
really
about
fun.
this game positively a lot. So if it turns out to be a terrible game, then we're gonna have the aliens criticism.
Yeah, right. No,
Yeah.
from what I've played so far, and to be honest, I've only played it a few hours total ever. I like it a lot. It's got a really good sense of humor. It's not restricted by a license. But at the same time, like I love good old cops and robbers and buddy cop movies and stuff like that, and like from the 80s, and it has a lot of that. So
I don't know if
really
I could
fun.
play this in front of my wife. I don't think that's gonna
I mean, that's the
fly.
thing is, I think
play it on your Wii U.
I know.
She
like,
can
we
watch TV.
Drop it on the lower screen.
we may not get GTA 5, so that's your best hope at some sort of GTA-like experience on Wii U.
I don't think I'll play GTA 5 either.
Well, all right then.
No, yeah, I'm not too into the open world drive cars around stuff.
me
I'm a little
neither,
over
to
it
be
now.
honest. Like GTA,
I used to like it, but-
old school GTA, like top down, like GTA 1 and 2. I was a huge fan of 3 and 4 and all the other little iterations.
Oh
I
my
was a
god,
little
does he
less-
wear a helmet in this one?
No, I think we just get the Luigi thing. Actually, in the Japanese version,
What
they
a
don't-
waste of their
That's
development.
NOA right there. I think that's NOA up
We
in
do
Seattle.
not need
I
this.
think.
Why, we don't need this.
I don't.
Why
think
are they
so.
making this?
I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure why you need a Google app
Is
if
that
you
underwater?
can't use it while you're moving.
It's just a toy.
Why is
it's
it
really
underwater?
just a toy.
Yeah,
Like it's
just
not like you're not gonna like look up restaurants in your neighborhood that you couldn't find.
Here
That's
it
what
is,
that
honey.
looks like. Yeah, it's a little
I don't know.
tricky.
This is weird to me because it's like I always have to think about the people that don't have smartphones in their pockets, like kids who are like they can explore
kids,
the world.
Kids
with this
got
thing.
smartphones in their
Well,
pockets.
think about this.
I can tell you that.
If this was the entire
No son
system
of mine will have a
in like 1988, if that was the entire system, just looking at
Oh,
the
yeah, that
world,
would've blown
we'd
my
be all
mind.
into it.
Oh, sure.
But now it's like
The problem is
We
we've
can
got,
drive.
We've got a more. Well, we've also got a more useful way of doing that, right? I've got it on my phone, and that means I can go somewhere and look at the map while I'm trying to get somewhere.
I forgot they show a couple of these games too.
yeah.
You know what's this is made by the people that make Pokemon.
Yeah. Game Freak. I mean,
Harmonite.
we asked him about this, and they
The
basically just,
Pikachu's in this game.
yeah, they got some Pokemon-related music and stuff like that in there.
Who are these guys?
That guy?
Yeah.
That's Kit. He's one of their PR guys.
I don't think
actually.
I've ever met him.
They do like all hands on deck for Nintendo Directs now. They're like, all you Treehouse guys, get out here. Bill's basically in charge of a lot of the Treehouse stuff. He's in there, of course.
I don't see this game having wide appeal.
I think it'll be fun, but yeah, I'm not sure. Like,
well, it's an eShop game, right?
That looks like Pokemon there. The little map screen. I think that's cool.
I'm fine with it. It's an eShop game. I'm
actually. I love the fact that they can try little things like this. Put them on the eShop for a couple of bucks, and I'll download them and play them a few times. You know?
A couple, meaning like 8 or 9 or 10. But
that's fine.
So they're going to show a few more games, but we should start answering some questions.
Yeah, sure. I'll start pulling them up. Is there any other news we need to get to? I mean,
so the final bit of news from this is that Donkey Kong Country 3D is coming out.
Right. Yeah, we forgot about that part.
Well, and we'll get to it, but it'll be in the second half of the cast.
Yep.
Are you excited for that, Sam?
I can't tell yet. I watched the video. You can download the video on your 3DS, and it looks like washed out. It doesn't look too good. But then Rich said that the graphics, the videos don't look good.
Yeah, most videos do. I was thinking the same thing.
If it looks really good, because that's one thing I really like about it.
I'm more worried about playing it on such a tiny screen.
Well, it's too frustrating for me to play again. I'm not going to play it. Personally, I'm not going to play the game.
I love this pooping game, Chris Belushi, about taking a dump in a well.
It's funny. Well dumped 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to play that game again because it was too. I did it. I'm done.
It was really hard.
Done with it.
Yeah. It's if
and
you
I hate
haven't
the golden
played
levels.
It's so awesome. It's really good, but it's really hard, and it's retro made it.
Cool that they ported it to the 3DS. I'm impressed.
Yeah, for sure. I think more people should play it. Like that's great.
That's an amazing port to do.
If they want to spend the next 2 years porting Wii games to the 3DS, yes, please.
Yeah, maybe Metroid Prime.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Hey, that's a really good idea.
That is
Metroid Prime trilogy for 3DS.
For some of us who
But again, it's like cramped and weird to play on the 3DS for that kind of stuff. But it's a 2D game. It'll be good.
Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
Oh, I forgot about it. Yeah, this is a little tidbit that most people I think were missing. But yeah, I love this series. This is Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
I do too, but this game does not look interesting.
Doesn't look as good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this whole BioShock water puzzle thing.
Right.
The entire game.
But it could be. I mean, like, yeah, it could be a good puzzle game.
eShop game.
Exactly.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
But that's like when people put out
I like to just
mixtapes.
throw that in there between Harmonite and the fashion game. It's like, that's a Mario game. Give them some props. But I guess it's the year of Luigi.
They did the Paper Mario thing where they're hiding Luigi in the corner of every shot. Also, this game does not need a sequel. I'm sorry, but whatever.
It didn't need an original either.
I'm not a big fan of Dylan's. But hey, maybe I don't know. Maybe they fixed the problems that I had with the first one.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of weird, and it's like a weird tower defense hybrid thing, and didn't get into it the first time. I guess we'll see what happens with this one.
Like if it's a solid 8.5, then I'm glad it exists.
Sure.
It's just cool to see that stuff on the eShop. Nintendo, of all people, really need to start getting to the point where they have these ideas and they put them out as eShop games. Like if you look at the DS and the Wii, they had a lot of games that did not justify their full price tag. Like the Yoshi's Touch and Go. I paid $35 for that on the day one of the DS, and it was crap.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a fun mini game, but I wouldn't have paid more than $5 for it on the eShop. And now you can put stuff like that out there. So they're a quirky company with tons of fun little ideas like this.
Yeah.
Take them, put them out here. It's a perfect place for them.
What's funny is that Nintendo routinely they develop, and we all know this, they develop by prototyping.
Yeah.
What if some of the not quite enough for a $60 game type prototypes make it to eShop?
Sure.
More. Do more of that. I would love that.
I would love to play a game called Nintendo Failures that was all just the things that they never actually made into full games. Funny little Miyamoto gimmicky ideas, and they were $1 or $2 each.
They weren't good enough to go on a disc, but they're in your eShop.
This is not a full game, but you can mess with it.
Some Natsume games coming to eShop Virtual Console or 3DS Virtual Console. And I mean, that's the other cool thing is we're starting to slowly see some games like the entire Mega Man NES series make it onto eShop, and it's like, please, if I could get the Contra games and the old school Castlevania games, please, oh man, just give me all those classic NES action games, and I will be very happy. Let's see some more of that on eShop.
So let's move on to some
Q&A.
Q&A.
Q&A? Sure.
I'm going to kick it off with a question from who is it from? Oh yeah, Dan Wing Huang. He asks, "Who did you marry in Fire Emblem Awakening?" Which is a question that already came up here.
I learned about marriage 2
minutes
ago.
I want to talk about this. And also, what's the funniest game you've ever played? So for me, the answer was Frederick by accident. So he says, "Who did you marry?" As in, I think it's who your main character did, and I have a main character as a girl, and I paired her with Frederick too much, and they got married. So it was a mistake.
Funny.
But if I have to recommend somebody to marry Crom and Sumiya. They make a child called Cynthia who can hit twice,
Like,
just like
super
Sumiya
powerful.
can, and it's so cool. You can move twice. And then the funniest game I've ever played is probably Portal 2 or Chubby Cherub.
Portal 2 is very funny.
And also Zombie Nation.
I thought you were going to say Zombie U.
NES.
I'm like, game not funny.
Look up Zombie Nation for NES. It's about a disembodied. It's funny because it's terrible, but it's about a disembodied samurai head that fights zombies. He's huge in a city, and it's like a shooter. It's a really cool game. But Portal 2 is the most well-written, funny game.
Crom, I had marry the short-haired girl on the horse.
Sumiya.
Is that her?
Yeah.
Really?
Probably, unless you're talking about Cherchi or...
No.
I know all this shit. That's all I've been playing.
Well, anyway, short-haired girl. Maybe
on a horse?
Yeah.
Short-haired girl on a
warrior
horse.
girl on a horse. Anyway,
that's Sumiya.
The funny thing is I too like didn't quite expect that to happen, but the game sort of at one point will sort of push you in that direction, basically.
Yeah, she's clumsy. Is that the girl? Falls around a lot.
Maybe. I honestly don't remember. I don't remember the name because I don't use her. That's the funny thing.
But you can marry so many characters and you can marry off so many characters.
I had my
in the
main
game.
character who I called
There's
Frost marry the dark-haired shy mage girl.
Oh yeah,
like that kind of slightly creepy dark-haired mage girl.
Yeah, she pairs with the
now you're
the battle monk, and they make an archer that has both their power sets, which is really good.
Cool. Yeah,
her name is Tharja, and the archer's name,
Tharja.
and then the white mage guy is named. I can't remember.
It's funny because I've been so distracted with Castlevania a bit, which I can't really talk about yet, and Metal Gear and a little bit of Ni no Kuni that I actually haven't played Fire Emblem in like maybe a week or so. But yeah, so I mean, I did that, and I'm at the
What's
point.
the funniest game you've ever played, Rich?
Funniest game? I honestly, maybe some of the Paper Mario stuff. I really like some of their localization efforts for the Paper Mario series. I don't know, like game. It's funny because you ask me all sorts of different traits of games. Funny is not one that comes to my head always quickly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There's a difference between like funniest writing in games that
and like stupid funny. That's what I was thinking about.
Like
two different angles.
I'll play New Super Mario Brothers or something with my girlfriend or Rayman Origins and be laughing my ass off.
Right.
You know, screwing each other over.
That's more the game.
That's the game, or just like the interactions you have.
Yeah.
Like,
but there's like the LucasArts adventures, which are like legitimately like well written.
Sure.
They're known for
that.
that.
I mean, a lot of Suda stuff is pretty funny.
I've been surprised.
Oh
honestly.
yeah, you're right.
No More
Suda
Heroes
51.
is really funny.
I've been surprised how funny
Killer
Fire
7.
Emblem is. Actually, the 4 guys did an incredible job with that. I really like how funny. I mean, it's very witty, and the characters are really, engaging.
Shout out to Mike Drucker, but Kid Icarus Uprising.
That was
I actually some really good jokes
funny.
in it.
I know some people. I know Audrey is not a big fan of the.
Actually,
the
Fire
voice
Emblem has
acting.
really good localization.
Yeah, no,
all
exactly.
the conversations the side conversations are great.
They're amazing.
They're so good.
They're all
the main
really
story,
well done.
I
I actually
don't care
feel
about
bad when I skip the conversations. I'm like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah, once you start actually building up relationships in that game, like the two characters will interact, and they're crazy. They're really, really not what you'd expect them to be. So good for NOA to do some amazing localization recently.
Yeah.
And if you want to look up more about marriage in Fire Emblem, if you're hearing us talking about it, it's really cool. And if you look up marriage and children, just Google that, Fire Emblem Awakening, and you'll bring up IGN's page on it, the first page. We did this huge expose on how.
Or just Google regular marriage and children, and learn about life. See how that goes.
Safe search.
So I've got a question here from Max. How do you guys feel about Donkey Kong Country Returns being ported and not just a new, get an outright new Donkey Kong game?
I'm just surprised. I think it's unexpected. It's a Wii
I'm
game.
not surprised.
And that really?
It's a Nintendo game that got ported to
Well,
a
but
new
think of
Nintendo
all the
system.
Wii games they could be porting to the. I mean, I want them all.
See, this
now.
will be one of the test the waters type of thing.
Yeah,
We'll see
because
how
remember
it
they
goes.
started with 64 games.
I know.
So it's weird that they're porting.
Well, it's just kind of cool to me that like the
game.
three. That means the 3DS can run 64, GameCube, Super Nintendo, Wii.
Let's not get too carried away here because this is a 2D Wii game, right? It's not pushing too much.
Well,
However,
it is one of the. It's one of the best looking
really
Wii
pretty.
games.
No, for sure. I'm just saying, like, let's. It's not taxing it too much. However, like just a second ago, they were showing Monster Hunter, and that is a Wii game. It was a Wii game, and then it got ported, here and there and everywhere. So you're right. But
I mean, obviously, I guess I'd want a new one over it, but it's not my favorite series.
I don't know if the 3DS can run Skyward Sword perfectly.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
God, if it could, I'd be so mad that they didn't just bleed on that system instead of making us keep our Wii's for another 2 years.
I would love to see them take the Galaxy concept and scale it a little more appropriately to 3DS and do something like that. I think that'd be amazing.
Do like 3D Land Galaxy type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say is like I'm sort of in the same boat where I'm kind of like, well, I don't necessarily. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need this game on my 3DS.
Yeah.
However, I'm excited that Nintendo is finding these sorts of strategies because maybe not everybody bought it on 3DS, and or maybe you really want it on your 3DS, and even if you already had the Wii version, that is content for your system, and that is good. Like I keep saying to anyone who will listen, really, that I wish that Wii U they had figured out a GameCube program and a Wii HD port program.
Anything.
Yeah, exactly. To keep,
anything like that isn't just Google Maps.
If for the past 3, I know, right? For the past 3 months, if that's all we had really had were GameCube Virtual Console support and HD Wii games,
yeah, I would have gone back and revisited so many like gems that I missed the last time, or played them again, or something like that.
And I would have probably bought Mario Galaxy again, even though I completely beat that game. I'd be like, okay, yes, let me do that. And the reason being because it's good content, and I will wait for Pikmin if you let me have other things. So,
like I don't know, the first 2 Pikmins.
You know,
which you can play on the Wii, but I mean, just make them downloadable. Just something. Open up the doors.
Stuff. Like I want stuff. I mean, and it's the same reason I'm so frustrated that the Virtual Console isn't. I mean, it is limitedly, you know, in a limited fashion currently, but that's why I was so frustrated. Is like, you know, I know the games are going to take them a while. I don't begrudge them for that. You know, make them good, but do something.
Jason C asks, what one third-party game would you love to see announced for the Wii U above all else?
Yeah, I got that one too. Yeah.
And so I wouldn't go with a third-party game that's coming out for anything else. I would say an original third-party game made for Wii U from Retro.
So on.
Who are not a third party. But I'm just saying, like, that's the thought process I get. I don't want them to bring over something else.
I do like the idea that Wii U, if Nintendo can pull things around and really start getting things going. I'm excited by the idea that most things on Wii U will not be anywhere else. I think that's a cool idea because it has an original controller. It has an original idea. It needs to really. It's just like Wii. You know, you need that.
My answer is a 3D Dot Game Hero sequel.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I wish.
That's cool.
But we're in that weird situation where no one wants to make games for Wii U because it's not selling well, and it's not selling well because no one wants to make games for Wii U.
It's an impossible circle.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's a tough circle. I mean, if we're going with the third party and you have to stick with third party, I wouldn't mind seeing, assuming that caveat being they needed the time, BioShock Infinite. Assuming they take the time and they have time to really work with it and do something
like what if it looked better? You know, like what if they took a little bit more time? You know, I'm just saying,
magical world where the ports look better.
They should. They should look better. That's what's
absolutely
so
right.
stupid.
Well, people have had dev kits for more than 30 days at this point. So
exactly.
That's a plus. For the supposed next wave of games, it isn't.
And another logical answer to that is none. I would rather see a bunch of great Nintendo games anyway. But I don't care if Nintendo succeeds or not because of the third-party strategy.
No,
that's such an obsession that's like from the GameCube era.
I think the problem is that I feel like Nintendo should have been smarter to realize this was coming.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. Well,
like,
say that.
Know that this is happening. Don't tell me that you've got a ton of third-party support when the best you can get is a year-old Batman port. Like, realize it and identify the problem and solve it. And Nintendo has the talent to solve this thing, so do it.
I mean, I would understand if they were packing in Wii games until the very last day that system was alive, but they weren't.
No.
You know,
I suppose your answer to the question then is Rayman. Last month.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
was like Rayman when I was supposed to.
The games that you have finished that are ready to play now, that would be a start. Yeah. If you have a game that's done for Wii U and I could be playing it, but I'm not, maybe go there.
The one thing we should note is, I mean, we briefly mentioned the Rayman delay. It's getting delayed till early September. It's also coming to 360, PS3, which is really tragic for Wii U owners. Ubisoft just sort of oddly, not even through a press release, announced on its Facebook that it's doing an online challenge. It's sort of a demo. I would kind of almost classify it as sort of an enhanced demo or something.
No, it's like when you're starving and you go to a restaurant and the waiter goes, I'm going to bring your food out in about 9 months, but until then, here's a dinner roll.
Give some bread.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, don't knock bread. Bread's good.
Bread's great, but when you want dinner,
if you're hungry and starving and don't have anything else.
A lot of people are asking if Nintendo is going to issue like some kind of response to the PlayStation announcement tomorrow.
Yeah, so I
just don't. I think they're on a different plane. Yes. They just did 2 amazing ones.
Video games are not the WWF. Why do people not realize this?
Well, wait. We do know they are doing a response.
What?
But hold on. The response is actually for 3DS. They announced it actually at the end of this Nintendo Direct that we're watching here. They said that Japan only third-party 3DS Nintendo Direct. Yeah, I know, right? But that's cool, right? Because like the 3DS has become this bizarre, like Japan-centric portable heaven, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it like I said, it does everything. It plays NES games, GBA games, SNES games if it needs to.
Yeah.
Virtual Console from
we get
Game Boy.
Weird crap like Project Cross Zone. I mean, really now our big problem with the 3DS is, will it come over? You know, which is funny because it reminds me of like the old SNES days where I'm sitting there going like, are you going to bring this cool game? Oh, back then when I was a kid, I had no idea what the hell was going on, which was probably better.
Yeah, definitely was
because I was like, oh, look, this game, and it could have been like a year old, and that was really high.
Well, now you're like, I talked to this guy at a press event, and I found out it's never coming to America.
I know, I'm so depressed today.
But I can't tell anyone that, so they're just going to keep writing petitions.
But yeah, so Sam, I mean, I don't think there's not going to be a response like oh, here's the Wii U counter to this thing. Although, one question we did get a lot was price, right? Will we get a price drop for Wii U? Because everyone's sitting here
People
going...
are all asking that,
yeah,
too.
What will Nintendo do about
I think a price
Wii
drop
U?
is going to help if there's no games to
Well,
play.
here's the problem, right? And who knows if this pans out. We'll probably not find out till E3 or later.
I would like them to give us 10 free games again after they price drop it.
Yeah, right? That was nice. So... Kotaku ran a report today, a rumor saying...
Report,
that,
colon?
Yeah, they're...
Is that how they ran it?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, boy.
No,
it was actually report question mark?
Yeah, report.
News jokes.
The latest rumor is that the PS4 will cost over $400 or $500, depending on your model.
The PlayStation?
A PlayStation 4.
You will
So
work
they
more
did not
hours.
learn any lessons, just like Nintendo.
Well, so here's the thing, right? Is everyone sitting here, and we don't know that to be fact at all, of course. Let's make sure we say that.
It's like a fine steak.
Here's the thing. We're sitting here going, will Nintendo drop the price of Wii U? Not if the PlayStation is $400 and $500. So not only is Sony screwing its fans, but they're screwing the Nintendo fans as well. Yeah, anyway, a lot of people were asking if the price drop is what Nintendo needs, and I guess, but if the competition is that much higher, Nintendo's not going to drop their price. Why would they? They'd be like, well, look at them. They are charging you much more. And I'm pretty sure that Sony and Microsoft are going to go through the same kind of growing pains early on. Maybe not all of them.
It's going to be beautiful.
I know. And then we'll be
and
like...
I say that not in the scornful way, but in a realistic kind of way. That's not even being jaded. But this is what happens. It's growing pains for these things.
I mean, it's funny because part of me, I mean, and it's funny because I've been a pretty vocal critic of Nintendo and its sort of handling of some of this stuff. But part of me wants to be just the pure Nintendo fan and be smug and sit with my arms folded and be like, see?
Yeah.
I told you, that is going to happen. But at the same time, it sucks. I want a new Xbox. I want a new PlayStation. And it sucks to think that I'm going to want to spend $600 on this thing to play nothing for a year. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sony Defense Force, pack your torches. But, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be... We're not going to be in this like mecca where all of a sudden there's all these PlayStation 4 games and everyone ignores the 150 million Xbox 360s and PlayStation 3s out there,
But by then we're going to have to read a whole year's worth of articles about how Nintendo's going into business, just like we did with the 3DS and the Wii and the GameCube.
And I know this sounds like deja vu from 15 years ago IGN, but Nintendo still has that giant-ass war chest that they can do whatever they want with. Yeah. They purposefully keep that for their like rainy days and...
Yeah. Even like when it's a rainy apocalypse day.
Yeah, it's like we're not Sega Fund.
Here's the weird thing I would say is that they have this war chest. Why not shell out a few $1 million to Ubisoft or give Ubisoft money to say, hey, we're going to publish the Wii U version of Rayman now. Yeah. Like, let's do this now. I'm a little surprised that... I mean, just at least from the mile-high perspective of whatever's going on there, that Nintendo wasn't aware and said, you know what, guys, I understand why you want to do this, but let's not do this. I think they still
don't totally know how to play hardball like that yet. I honestly think that between the 3DS and the Wii U right now, they just don't know exactly where they should be putting everything. Yeah. And I don't think they have enough people to put things in places. And that's why... they're going, well, we're working on a Zelda game and 2 Mario games and another Mario game. They're probably losing their minds trying to keep up with all those projects.
Got a lot going on.
It's a lot. I mean,
it's not like they're not trying. No. It's just that they still fumbled it, trying as hard as they can, which is
like Microsoft has to focus on one console, which they're not doing very well because most of their focus is going on a Kinect. Sony's focusing on 2 things, one of which is the Vita, which they're not focusing on. And Nintendo's going, well, we have 3DS, and now we have the Wii U. We spent 6 months saying the 3DS is going to make Nintendo go out of business. Instead, it's turning out to be one of the best systems of all time.
It is weird. I mean, as poorly as Wii U is doing, Vita's technically doing worse, although it just got a price drop in Japan by about $50. No word on here.
But like Sam said, I mean, what can you play on your price drop?
Yeah, that's the problem.
And you need games.
And that happened with the 3DS too. It wasn't until Mario 3D Land came out and we all started talking about that it also coupled with the cheapness of it. I think
we got Mario 3D Land and Mario Kart within like a month or something.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It really
and hypothetically,
That's happening again
could happen this time, you know. But I mean, this is the trick: is that like we were just talking about earlier, with the 3DS, you can develop cheaper, you can develop faster, you can turn these things around. You can call Retro in and be like, just give me some Mario Kart levels real quick, and that can happen. With Wii U, that's a harder thing, and it's still like current gen technology, but that's a harder thing to do.
Yeah.
So I think Nintendo is, you know, really starting to work hard at this thing. I still wonder kind of what they were doing during the final couple years of Wii, you know, where we did see releases kind of dry up, especially that last year got really kind of grim, and hell, last year too, when Wii U was coming out, there was nothing. So I sit there kind of going, I mean, presumably they were learning how to really get HD development going and kind of learning the ropes of the system in HD in general.
Yeah, they were launching the 3DS too.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, they're trying to do everything at once, and they are working their asses off at the same time. You know,
it's never enough for us. I mean, come on.
No,
it's not even that.
We're those
you know,
people.
I don't feel like I'm being too demanding to want games. You know, like there have been no games for Wii U in 3 months.
Yeah,
almost.
I mean
so,
that's
I
just
think
bad
you said
planning.
the other day it would have been a quarter of a year before another Wii U.
It literally has now.
That's so scary.
Actually, as of yesterday, literally, because it was the 18th yesterday. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Wasn't today supposed to be Rayman?
No, that was, I want to say 28th, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
the
few
last
days
week
away.
in February.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, we do.
Cool.
It was fun.
So no more questions, and well, I know we have more.
No
But
more
thanks
questions for
to
you guys.
everybody for sending those in on last minute on
and-
Twitter. A lot of them covered the same territory,
Also,
but I think we talked about it.
Someone was asking me the third-party 3DS thing with the Japan or whatever. Some of the reliable guys on GAF, honestly, that translate all the directs for everybody, said that was a statement that was made. So that's what I'm going on.
What is the exact statement?
That there was going to be a third-party 3DS Nintendo Direct, and I think they had pinpointed this week, but you know, that's what I'm going on. So it's not an official Nintendo press release or anything. So.
All right.
Cool.
Well, I didn't get to use our new catchphrase until the end of the podcast. So, hey, listen.
Hey, listen to this silence that's about to fill your earphones.
Yeah, hey, listen to the
Nice.
Balloon Fight theme song. I should be saying to our audio podcast listeners, because you can download this on IGN.com or through iTunes, where you get the whole podcast, or you can watch on YouTube or watch it on IGN in video form, which we highly recommend.
It's very fitting that we end with Luigi here.
Yeah, he's going to sleep.
Cool.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
He'll wake up when some new Wii U games are out.
Damn.